Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Today isn't just an ordinary day for armies around the world. There was one moment that quietly stole the spotlight, not on stage, not during an interview, but in the middle of a crowded scene filled with flashing cameras and endless attention. A small moment, almost unnoticed, yet somehow the most real. When BTS finally arrived at The Tonight Show starring Fallon, the atmosphere instantly shifted. The excitement that had been building since morning seemed to reach its peak. The place was filled with energy, hope, and shared anticipation, waiting for 7 individuals who always manage to capture attention wherever they go. One by one, they appeared with their own unique charm. RM with his calm charisma, Jin with his timeless elegance, Suga with his effortlessly cool aura, J-Hope radiating bright energy, and V with his signature deep gaze. But as always, there were 2 figures who brought their own story, Park Jimin and Jeon Jungkook. Behind all the spotlight, there was something different. Something unplanned, unannounced, and perhaps unnoticed by many. But for those who truly pay attention, the moment was clear, a warm closeness that couldn't be hidden. As often happens, Jimin and Jungkook arrived together once again. For some, it may seem ordinary. But for those who notice the details, there's a pattern that keeps repeating, consistent, calm, and sincere. As they stepped out of the car, the atmosphere was instantly filled with flashing cameras. The rapid clicks created an almost overwhelming rhythm. Paparazzi called out, trying to get their attention, capturing every small movement that might otherwise be missed. The world around them felt loud, intense, and full of pressure. In the middle of it all, Jimin walked beside Jungkook with slightly restrained steps. He looked down, his shoulders appearing tense under the harsh lights. Reflexively, his hand rose to cover part of his face. His eyes closed for a moment, as if trying to shield himself from the overwhelming spotlight. And at that very moment, Jungkook moved. Without words. Without any obvious signal. He simply adjusted. His steps slowed slightly, his position shifting closer. It wasn't a grand gesture, not something dramatic, just enough to create space. Space that made everything feel a little safer. The movement felt so natural, as if it required no thought. As if his body already knew what to do before his mind even realized it. In the middle of the chaos, Jungkook became a point of calm. His expression remained steady, his steps grounded. He didn't rush, he didn't show panic. But if you looked closely, there was something in the way he walked, the way he made sure Jimin was always by his side, that spoke louder than words ever could. A quiet kind of care. A presence that doesn't force itself, but is always there. They kept walking side by side, as if the world around them was just a blurred background. There were no visible conversations, no exaggerated gestures. And yet, that's exactly where the beauty lies. In silence, there is a story. In simplicity, there is meaning. Many might see it as habit, the result of years spent together. Trained coordination. A rhythm that has already formed. But for those who truly observe, there is something deeper than that. Because care like that doesn't come from obligation. It comes from feeling. As they approached the entrance, the noise remained just as intense. Cameras kept chasing them, voices growing louder. But once again, without drama or any attempt to draw attention, they stayed together. No distance. And that's when a brief moment happened, one that left a lasting impression. With a reflexive motion, Jungkook reached for Jimin's hand and gently pulled him forward, making sure Jimin entered first. There was no hesitation, no pause. Just a spontaneous action that felt completely right. At the same time, Jimin closed his eyes. Maybe because of the bright camera lights. Maybe out of shyness. Or perhaps both. But in that moment, everything felt clear. Without saying a word, Jungkook's small action spoke volumes. The way he protected, gave space, and made sure Jimin felt safe. It all felt so natural, so gentle, and full of care. As if, in the middle of a crowded world, there was only one person he truly saw. Jimin. For fans, this isn't just an ordinary interaction. It's not just about 2 people walking together. It's a small glimpse of something warmer, of how someone can care so deeply without needing to show it in an exaggerated way. Jungkook didn't say anything. But his gestures seem to say one simple thing. That Jimin is someone he will always want to protect. And maybe that's where the beauty lies. Amid the glitter of the global stage and the never-ending spotlight, moments like these feel far more meaningful. Moments that aren't staged, not meant to be seen, yet leave the deepest impression. That day, BTS once again showed their professionalism and charm on the international stage. They stood as a solid group, charismatic and irreplaceable. But behind it all, there was a quiet story unfolding. About togetherness. About care. About a presence that never leaves. And just like when they arrived, they returned to the same car. Together. No separation. No different directions. Just two people who arrived together, went through the moment together, and left together. Simple. Yet somehow deeply meaningful. Some might call it coincidence, that they just happened to walk side by side, share the same car, appear so in sync. But when coincidence happens over and over again, can it still be called coincidence? Or is it something deeper, something that doesn't need explanation because it can simply be felt? Maybe the answer doesn't really matter. Because in the end, what remains isn't definition, but feeling. A feeling that comes from the way Jimin instinctively seeks comfort. From the way Jungkook is always there without hesitation. From the way they move in such natural synchronization. And perhaps, among all the flashing lights and endless noise, it's moments like these that feel the most real, the most honest, and the hardest to ignore. In the end, in a world that never stops moving, what lingers isn't the stage lights or interview words, but small moments like this, when Jeon Jungkook is always there by Park Jimin's side. And everything feels so natural, as if it never needed an explanation. Some may call it coincidence. But when it keeps happening again and again, is it really just coincidence? Or is it something that can only be felt, not explained? What do you think this moment means? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with fellow ARMYs so we can keep talking about these sweet moments together. See you in the next video on Jikook Moments.